children for masturbating in front of children. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so
so
in front of
he was caught masturbating. I think he's like 35 years old.
Meerkat Mall.
I just want the bust. Oh man, bust. Give me the monster. Bust. Wow, it's big. Bust. I just want the
Fuck all you hoes!
I just want the
Baller
bust.
alert. Calling out baller alert.
I just want the eating. I just want the I am fucking based. Eating. Kiss my fucking ass and lick my balls. Fucking eating. Oh, he's doing a meme. Oh, this is cringe. Eating. I just want the bust. Oh man, bust. Give me the monster. Bust. Wow, it's big. Bust.
Please.
I just want the
Meerkat Mall. Meerkat Mall.
You think I care about this shit? Ask me if I care about this shit, cause I don't give a shit. If I had $1 for every time they said I gave a shit, I'd be broke, cause I don't give a shit. I'm not loyal to anybody, I'm a demon. I have no loyalty for anyone. Never did, never will. Straight gas and cutting straight to the bricks. Ha ha. Popped a perk 30, got straight to fucking. Popped a old garbanzo bean. Fuck you mean. I'm sick in the head. Y'all can't fuck with me. This shit ain't nothing to me, you stupid piece of shit.
Hey, it's me again, the dumb big fat piggy with the greasy skin. And the piggy really need a little drink of gin. Too many shots calling out and I'm sleeping in. Cat got a little diabetes creeping in. Got 2 separate beds that we sleeping in. DoorDash with the IHOP cheese and grits. You want a top Panaline while I plead the fifth. I got my Booze Cruise shirt and my YouTube's worse than any other channel in the YouTube verse. Angela, you heard about my cruise ship girth, and I think about poop more than Amber Heard. Got a couple screws loose and I'm always slurring words. Hello Jew, how you do? You're a stationary slur. Fuck you, RTU, you ain't never gonna learn.
Straight gas and cutting straight to the bricks. Ha ha. Popped a perk 30, got straight to fucking. Popped a old garbanzo bean. Fuck you mean. Ha ha. I'm sick in the head. Y'all can't fuck with me. You can't trust me. I don't even trust myself.
I don't even trust myself, and I don't need nobody. I can bust myself. I hate women. Who needs them? I can fuck myself and get it all over my floor and my dusty shelves. But I don't wanna be the one of them that bust and tell. My life is swell, and I don't wanna fight them now.
I forgot about how good these verses are, man. This is bars. This is actually bars.
Well, hint, hint, oh I see. Just give me a little tip, you dummies know that I'm sick. I need a lickety split before I run out of gin. I'm getting tired of saying it, keep it 100%. You motherfuckers are paying me, it's time to pay the rent. Pay the rent.
Straight gas and cutting straight to the bricks. Ha ha. Popped a perk 30, got straight to fucking. Popped a whole garbanzo bean.
Bitch,
Fuck you mean. Ha ha. I'm sick in the head. Y'all can't fuck with me. You can't trust me. I don't even trust myself. Ah! I don't know who I am anymore. I'm getting too much money. Can you remind me who I am? Get the president on the phone now.
Give me your mailing address. I want to mail you a spoon. I'm tired of people saying that because I am who I am, I can't eat shit out of my fucking ass. Eat it. Kiss my fucking ass my ball. Eat it. Fucking eat it. Oh, he's doing it mean. Oh, this is cringe. Eat it. Eat it. I am fucking based. Fucking eat it. Shut the fuck up. Take your fucking ass and eat it. Eat it. Kiwi Farms. I want to mail you a spoon on a daily fucking basis. Phil's a racist, Phil's a sexist, Phil's this, Phil's that. I am who I am. I am fucking based. Eat it. Kiss my fucking ass and lick my ball. Eat it. Fucking eat it. Oh, he's doing it mean. Oh, this is cringe. Eat it. Eat it. Eat it. I am fucking based. Eat it. Fucking eat it. Shut the fuck up. I am who I am. Eat it. Eat it. Eat it.
All right, welcome everybody to the Swaycast. Let's go live. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Swaycast, the second one for 2026. I am your host, Sway Killer Sway Star. That's it. That's who I'm gonna be this time. And today we're gonna watch Phil's top 10 worst disappointing, most disappointing, lowest revenue earning playthroughs, games / pay pigs. I don't even know. Allegedly is video games that were bad, but most of them are decent video games that he didn't get paid for. So, yo, big ups, Mr. Fantastic for the 10 gifted, dude. That's crazy. Big ups, and congrats to whoever got them. So, there's some other stuff first, though. The Daily Wrap, hold on, which window have I shared? This one. The Daily Wrap is called It Was Just One of Those Days. So he's in his Limp Bizkit bag. He's, I guess, feeling some kind of pressure because he missed 2 goals that don't exist, technically. I don't even know what's happening. This is so hard. We need to untangle this bullshit. So I think we should best start with, as always, the last thing, which is the Daily Wrap. Let's see the Daily Wrap recap and his version of events for this bullshit. And then we're going to watch the worst moments, and then we're going to see what game he's about to play today that's going to turn everything around.
Good evening, everyone. Phil here.
Oh, instantly hit with brilliant music.
Welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Thursday, the 8th of January, 2026. I'm going to be honest, it was a day that didn't go so well. A day that basically on both fronts, what I tried or what I thought would work didn't really work the way that I had planned it.
Oh, this is the worst music. It's so distracting, especially that it clashes with him complaining about money. This is the type of music like a Fortnite Let's Player would have as an intro to their videos in like 2018.
Allow me to explain what I mean.
Yeah, please do.
I can turn things around for the end of the week tomorrow, so let's talk about that, okay?
He is so crushed and disheveled. I love this.
So today we started off not with the Level 1 podcast, but today I said what I was going to do was start off my stream with a countdown of the most disappointing games of 2025.
Right. Okay, I know it's going to get messy, but first I need to show you the tweet that he made. And by tweet, I mean tweet/community post, because he reposted on both places. Yeah, we're going to start off with the most dramatic stuff and then figure out what makes it dramatic or why it even exists. So this is it. Let me see if I can get a text-to-speech to read it, because it's going to make it a lot more entertaining. And also, I hate reading. So, yeah. This should work. So, DSP Gaming,
it is
1 hour ago.
Again.
What
I'm
the
Dark
fuck,
Side
dude?
Phil.
Stop. No.
Welcome
no.
to my year-end series covering the events of 2025.
Where did it...
So the new year is already upon us.
Where is it playing from? Okay, there it is. Crisis averted. So... he posted this at, I think, exactly midnight his time. And this is what it is. Just read aloud. Oh, fuck that. Immersive reader.
No data found.
Oh, you suck, Microsoft Edge. I could have figured. Anyways, sorry for sounding so down or negative at the end of tonight's late stream. We'll talk more about it tomorrow, but I've been putting a lot of time / effort into improving many things on my streams lately, and was hoping to see that result in extra enjoyment for the viewers today. So this is the 4D guilt trip. He's technically not guilt tripping you because he's putting the blame on himself. And he's sad for failing to entertain you to a satisfactory level, right? But ultimately, it's your fault because he's been improving the setup. All right, we keep going. Instead, it seems like I goofed up the countdown and people are just tired of Black Ops 7, despite all my efforts. What are all of his efforts? Oh my God, I should show you. I'm gonna show you what all of his efforts are. And I gotta say, he makes it look effortless. So, do I actually need to log into Twitter again? No. All right. Another crisis averted. So, ALT on the That Being Said Twitter posted this a couple of days ago. And this broke containment and went actually big. Like, actually got a lot of views. So, only the ALT post got almost for 350K. But then another guy retweeted this and got 2.8 million impressions. And then a third guy retweeted the second guy and got 1.5 million. And this is the clip I'm about to show you. And it's better if you hear it with the audio because it makes it funnier.
Unreal. Unfucking real. All those bullets magically missed from point blank range.
Okay, so this is the type of clip that even super blind man can understand despite being blind and dead. So I'm not going to go into breaking down what is so funny about it. I think it's that he didn't hit the guy at all and immediately started crying later. So yeah. Then we got... what else we got from his best efforts? I don't think I bookmarked it. But there was also some very good clips from the Call of Duty.
Once that was done, which I estimated would probably take like a couple of hours because I would do a little build up and then hang out and do the countdown.
Right. So now we have the context for why he's bummed out and feeling down in the dumps.
Take a break and then come back and play a couple hours of Pokemon Legends ZA. Now, I was well aware that I was near the end of Pokemon Legends ZA's DLC, the Mega Dimension, and that we were coming to some of the pivotal moments, some of the big fights and things were going to happen, likely on this very stream. So I had talked about this like for a week, right? That I was going to do it this way, that it was a different way of doing it. I had never really done it like that before, that usually when I do year-end series, the stream's focused exclusively on those year-end series. And this way I split.
Does he actually fucking think this makes any kind of a difference? I know at this point he's grasping at straws to find what the problem with his stream is. Hint, hint, it's everything. It's him. But this is like, we're going to a part where it doesn't even make sense. Even if you don't expect it to make sense, you're still surprised by how little sense it makes, if I could put it like that. So, like, the format of the stream is what made it bad because he didn't do the whole stream about the games?
It up. It would be like, kind of like we're not wasting the rest of the stream because I wasn't ready to do the rest of the Game of the Year stuff. Well, let me put it this way. When the stream started, everyone was hanging out with me for like a half an hour. That went really well. People were engaged. People supported. It was great. I started doing the countdown, and the countdown took 90 minutes. During the entirety of the countdown, I got a couple contributions, all right, which is fine. But the whole idea was that I wanted the countdown to be more interactive.
Can we make a list of top 10 most disappointing games countdowns? We should do that. At this point, we might as well have that many countdowns to rank.
I was hoping more people...
I love that. That's exactly my type of gimmick.
...would weigh in on my picks and things for the most disappointing game.
And this would be number one, because even he admits the disappointing list of disappointing games with a disappointing stream.
They didn't really do that. Basically, they treated it pretty much like an on-demand video. So because of that, it was just kind of like me doing it and people watching, but no one really responding or interacting. I very well could have done...
Did he want to get in debates with people? Because they would disagree about the game that he put on the list, and then he would argue with them? Is that what he wanted to do?
Now offline, and I don't think it would have made any difference, okay? So, I did the countdown. People seemed to enjoy it, like there was no complaints. They liked it, and I said, all right, now it's time for Pokemon. Let's go on break. So I went on break. I came back, and to my surprise, lost more than half my audience, which I kind of figured would happen, that people wouldn't stick around for Pokemon. The problem was, a lot of the people who were Pokemon regulars didn't show up. There were 2 people who were Pokemon regulars who were there and actually...
They're Pokemon regulars.
Outside of that, it was quite dead.
Oh no, God forbid they had something else to do.
I was like, oh, and people were like, yeah, we actually didn't know you were playing Pokemon. I was like, whoa, I kind of advertised it like that all week, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's their problem. This guy, the one thing that's missing is him tattooing his whole schedule on his forehead. Like, what, like 70% of him sitting there rambling about stuff is about what he's doing right now, what he's about to do this week, and what he did last week. So there's no excuses. But we know the DSP fans, they're awesome.
Oh,
And I love every time he spends, oh, that's a great screenshot. He spends an excessive amount of time explaining something and trying to make sure that you understand it. And then some random guy shows up and is like, so what's Phil talking about? Phil, what are you doing on Thursday? It's so great.
Schedule.
Because like DSP takes it so seriously. This schedule is so important to him.
Like everywhere, it said that. It said disappointing games countdown, then Pokemon. It says it right on the schedule. But everyone
Says it right on the schedule, bitch.
was under the impression the stream was just the countdown, and that after the countdown, that was kind of it. So basically, the stream did not very well at all. Usually, my Pokemon streams do exceptionally well. That's why I've kept it in the rotation for so long. Even though I know it's not a huge group of people who watch that playthrough, the people who usually show up are very engaged in talking about Pokemon and hanging out and support it in droves. And literally, that didn't happen this time. It was nearly dead. So basically, the whole first stream was kind of a flop.
This again, we're trying to look for patterns where they don't exist. Because this is the tricky thing with streaming, right? You can try and structure it in a way that it's the most predictable for you. Let's say, I know what are the best times for me to stream, when I'm going to get the most people watching. I know that, but I can't guarantee that. Like, I could stream at the hotspot at the time where people usually watch me the most, and for them not to watch me the most. Like, that's not guaranteed. And he's trying to make this into a science when it's not science. It's mostly predictions and trying to be ahead of what's going to happen and trying to see what's going to come. And that's just inherently what it's like being a streamer. And when you try and turn it into a science or some kind of a thing that you can just kind of put together and get a great idea of what you can expect, you just delude yourself and you end up being like this.
I blame myself on this one because I had never done it this way, where half of a stream was a year-end series, half of a stream.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely not this time slot. Thank you. Piracy is good. I definitely know this.
Stream was gameplay.
Like, this is what I know. But this is a time slot that's good for me.
Just can't do that moving forward. I have to be more straightforward in what I'm doing and make it that the whole stream is one thing. Okay, and that's what I'm going to do, and I'll explain that in a moment for the rest of the year-end series.
Yeah, again, this doesn't matter.
So
it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, kind of sucked. And I was like, well, listen, it's deflating, but it's not a huge deal, right? Hopefully, tonight's late stream of Black Ops 7 will do well and hope to make up for it. You know, it is what it is.
I thought we didn't have goals anymore. We don't have to make up for stuff. Why do we have to do that?
Yeah.
And again, we are so deep into abstractions because this is what he wanted to do for a long time. Like, I know that DSP hates having a specific goal because when he hits the goal, he would like to get more. He would like to get, 180, 200. And once you hit the goal and start begging again, it's just kind of making you look like a greedy asshole. And DSP is a greedy asshole, but he doesn't want people to know that. So I think he always kind of hated having a specific goal and tried, at some extent, pretty desperately to make it into an abstraction, to make the goal some kind of just a concept instead of something specific. And now he's kind of there, where the goal is something that he just determines makes him happy. It's non-specific. It could be 50, 100, 150, 200. It could be making up for a previous stream or getting momentum going for a future stream. It doesn't matter. It's just a abstract concept of what the goal is and what makes him satisfied. But here's the thing. We got to the destination, right? We turned the goal into an abstract. It's not working. It's not working. Like, if he did this in, like, 2018, maybe, when people were just giving him money at the first beg, it would have worked a lot better. And maybe he would manage to brainwash a lot of those pay pigs to stick around even nowadays.
Definitely didn't happen. So here's what happened with Black Ops 7 tonight, okay? I was a little late because I was doing some technical stuff, and, you know, I got the stream up and running, but we still hung out for a little bit. And then around like 7:40, we started playing the game. Tonight was Fallout night. If surprisingly, Call of Duty is doing a Season 1 collab with the Fallout TV show. So you can unlock vault dwellers and characters from the show and you know, skins of Fallout and stuff like that.
That's right, by the way. A guy with long hair points out. It's not working because you can easily tell from his behavior that the goal is pretty much 150. Like, it's kind of the unspoken rule.
They turned Nuketown into Vault Town, so now it's supposed to be like a Vault Tech version of Nuketown. Remember, I had unlocked the ballistic knife last time that I played, so it was kind of fun trying that out. But also, I did a bunch of the challenges and things that I needed to do to get some unlocks and stuff. So the gameplay portion went well. It certainly wasn't perfect, and there was a couple laggy matches, and I raged a bit. And to be honest, the ballistic knife, sometimes I did well with it, and other times I did horribly with it, all right? But in general, playing on the new equipment, right? The new setup, everything is great. You know, again, new wrist rests and things. It's allowing me to...
Oh, the wrist rests. No, I didn't want to remember that. So earlier this week, he bought like 10 different wrist pads, like wrist rests for your desk that are made out of like foam. And he had a stream reviewing them, which went about as entertaining as you figured it did.
Play and actually game better and do better than
the fucking wrist rest review
I ever had before. It was just going really good in that regard. But basically, we're back to square one with this game. What do I mean by that?
Oh, he is so defeated. He is so defeated. I love this. He will forever be chasing this dragon of spending money. What's the next thing gonna be? What's the next thing gonna be? And I've admitted for myself multiple times, I also love spending money on my setup and stuff. And I'm also at this place where I'm like, I don't know what else to buy now. I got everything. But I'm looking at this guy and I'm thinking to myself, okay, like, this dude's going to do something silly and he's going to spend a lot of money on something he doesn't need. So you don't do that. And I haven't done that yet. And you know what? I'm grateful for that. So this is DSP actually having a meaningful change for somebody. He influenced me not to spend money. I don't have to.
Well, most of the attendance, I'd say at least half was trolls. People coming by just being toxic and being stupid. The entire day on Kick, I think we got 3 subs.
Oh, yeah, I did see the QVC parody video, by the way. You could see it here, too. This is by Nerd Brew. Go check it out. It's Dark Side Phil as a QVC host. It's great. It's about the wrist rest things. But actually edit it to make it entertaining, because DSP doesn't do that.
It feels like your wrist is going into a pillow.
Wow. Wow, that's the wrist rest experience. The wrist rest express.
The entire day, and maybe like 500 kicks. Maybe a few more than that, but basically almost non-existent kicks.
Why do we get this whimsical Disney Channel movie music in the background while he's begging for money and complaining he didn't get enough? Look at this. This is such a tonal contrast.
Day on Kick, I think we got 3 subs.
It's so whimsical.
And maybe like 500 kicks. Maybe a few more than that, but basically almost non-existent kick support today. On the YouTube side, I'm not kidding, half of my support tonight was from one person, which shouldn't happen like that. And
why not?
People who previously in the week had said they were going to come by and hang out and support on the Call of Duty stream didn't show up.
Oh my god, he's keeping people accountable for not showing up to his shitty-ass Call of Duty stream.
So basically...
he didn't show up.
It was a flop. It's back to how it was, if you remember, when I was playing it as a day stream and then another night stream.
When was that? Before the bump? Before you got bumped?
Before that, it was kind of flopping, and that's why we stopped playing it. I brought it back specifically to...
Oh, he's so cucked and defeated and disheveled. I love this. I love this. And this midnight tweet, that's the cherry on top. That's the cherry on the pity party cake.
Go with my new equipment. It's not doing well. And again, that's disheartening because I'm putting a lot of effort into trying to get better at it. I'm trying to upgrade my setup so I can play it better. And I like having variety. I like having these kind of multiplayer games in the rotation I think that if I have that in there, it's better than just me playing single-player offline games and chill games all the time. People want action. People want that kind of game. I like that kind of variety. I do. Listen, I don't love Black Ops 7. It was in my freaking disappointing games countdown today. But at the same time, I like variety. So I know it has a place in the rotation. The question is just where. And honestly, I can't really answer that right now because of the way that today went. I don't know where to go with Call of Duty. Do I even keep playing?
I love these segments. I love these segments.
Play it maybe once a week and see what happens. How is it that sometimes I play it and we get people
I love this. This is his whole life, man. Imagine living this and waking up and thinking about if people are going to give you money for Call of Duty or you should play something else. Speaking of him playing something else, today he is scheduled to play a game that is very, very untraditional for Darkside Phil to play, which is this game called Code Violet. And this game seems to be a game that appeals to people who like sexy and attractive ladies. Which, since we know Darkside Phil, we know that's totally up his alley. But oh my God, look at this. She's in her underwear in a tank top. Oh, this game is not making it. He's not even making it to this part of the game where she's naked. This is getting cut off at the title sequence. Oh my God, she's naked from the very beginning. No. Phil, put your dick back in your pants, buddy. No. Oh, we're going to have another accident today. I have no idea why he's playing this, though. He must be super desperate if he's picking up random games somebody told him about.
coming by, positivity, outstanding support, and then other nights like tonight, it's mostly trolling and no one cares. I don't know. So today, I'll be honest, sucked because everything kind of backfired. Nothing really worked. I didn't get great support on either stream. It's, again, I want you to understand when I talk about this stuff, it's not the end of the world. Like, overall, my content is still doing well, but my idea is to try to have consistency. And I'm not.
Oh, no.
Right now. Today was kind
Okay, yeah, it's definitely time for a publicity stunt. What are we going to do now? Who are we going to have a beef with? You should have a beef with somebody who's relevant, not like a Review Tech USA, Wings of Redemption. Who's relevant right now? I don't know. You should take shots at them. Some random day on stream, you just make up a reason, get in a beef with, like, I don't know, the popular, like a Kai Cenat, probably. I don't know.
a flop for me, and that's
why not.
And now, you know, especially considering what I got coming up tomorrow, I gotta wonder what's gonna happen. Let me explain. Tomorrow, we got 2 new things that are coming into play. There's a new...
Oh, yeah, Amber Lynn. Dude, that would be great. That would be great. DSP versus Amber Lynn on LolCow Bus. The worst show on the internet. It's the worst.
Game called Code Violet. That's the spiritual successor
oh, God.
to Dino Crisis. That's my first stream, and I have no clue how that's going to go. I don't know if the game's even good. I mean, it's just coming out tomorrow.
All right, yeah, we get it.
People will
We
show
get it.
up and engage and support it, but I don't know if they will. Tomorrow night is a one-off attempt to revive Friday Night Fights with Street Fighter 6 returning. I've never used it with this monitor.
Oh yeah, he's definitely desperate because he's bringing back SF6. You know things are bad if Street Fighter 6 is getting played again. Because he's not just playing it for the money and to get the fucking, what was his name, Jax Raxer to show up and cuck out like $150. He's also doing it for the ego. Because this is the one game that he can play and he feels good at it and he can just feed his ego a little bit after playing Call of Duty and being terrible at it for so long.
Before, I haven't played it in 100 years. I don't know how that's going to go. So now I'm like, man, it would be great at least if I have a great end to the week, but I don't know how it's going to go tomorrow. It might be horrible. So
yeah, it might explode and die.
Situation where things are very uncertain, and honestly, I don't like that. I don't. You know, things were actually going well for a long time.
But that's the job of being a streamer. Literally, is that things are uncertain. Today, YouTube can literally just run like an AI video check on your channel and just DMCA strike you for a bunch of made up reasons. Actually, like literally do that. That like streaming and YouTube is the most inconsistent career you can have.
And now things are kind of like all over the place. And I hope that things will improve. I really do. I hope that tomorrow we'll have a great day and maybe we'll find a place for Call of Duty, just maybe not as often. I don't know. But now I'm kind of feeling a little bit uncertain and
yeah, you should cry. You should cry more so people feel bad about you and give you more money. Let's look at the comments. So here we have some genuine feedback from a true and honest DSP fan. Also, this is the first comment. Some of the raging you do is really fun, but the Call of Duty raging is mostly complaining at the game. It's really uninspiring. I would encourage you to watch back a Call of Duty stream and decide what kind of value you see. Oh no! You calling this not meaningful? Oh, you shall be banned. An underdog getting better at the game is compelling, but it gets lost in other less entertaining threads. Yeah, but how is he an underdog? He's been playing these games since they started existing. So he should be at least like half decent. It's Call of Duty. It's a game for like middle-aged dudes, children, everybody in between. It's a game that you can easily pick up and be decent at. Like, enough with the underdog shit. How long is he going to be an underdog for? How does an underdog constantly buy more shit and claims he's super successful? How does it work? Of course, here we got the obligatory dick riding comment. Things will turn around, Phil. Stay positive. The new equipment is great. And they will turn around 1,000,000%. All it takes is some wishful thinking. And this same guy again from the first comment says, also, there are very few people who are able to get away with streaming Call of Duty multiplayer, and those people are really, really good. You do cozy, chill hangout. Best, but it's completely mitigated during your Call of Duty rages. I mean, of course, it's not very entertaining to watch him lose his shit and blame the kill cam being fake, the game being fake, and all that shit. So, naturally. Right. Now, let's move on to the best disappointing games, the most disappointing games, the worst games, whatever games. Fuck, let's talk about games. And the first game is a video game that shall be played.
I think a lot of things have changed compared to the old days. And what I mean by that is, you used to have these tried and true...
Why do we have the Halloween gimmick going on? We got spooky music. We have like a smoke machine overlay. Why?
Companies that would put out amazing top-tier games, and you knew that you could trust them. Whether it was a ginormous company that has a humongous history like Nintendo, or a huge...
Yeah, this is getting skipped.
I'm trying to basically show you reasons why certain games were disappointing. Maybe there was a game that actually was decent, but just didn't live up to the expectations that people had for it.
Yeah, well, I know he's doing this because many YouTubers just do the worst games of the year list, and those lists usually get more views because it's, instead of being the most disappointing, it's the worst, and it's more interesting when it's the worst of something. But he really doesn't play the bad games, so the only thing he can do is have a list of good games and have a list of good games that were disappointing to him. And of course, this is what happens pretty much every year, which I can't blame him for not playing the bad games, like that Gollum game that came out that was garbage. Mind's Eye, even though he did play Mind's Eye. Matter of fact, I think we're about to see it very soon.
There was a game that I actually enjoyed, but it just didn't work out as a playthrough. It really disappointed me. Or maybe the game sucked. So we're going to take a look at all these different situations and my personal rundown of the most disappointing games of last year. However, I just want you to know they're not in any particular order, except for number 1.
Again, it's called the top 10. When you do a top 10, it's ordered by the you know? It is ordered. It is ordered.
All these games...
So he's doing a list out of order of bad games that aren't necessarily even bad. This is falling apart already, and we've watched less than 2 minutes of this.
Were disappointing, and I don't want to rank them really at, oh, what was the saddest or biggest disappointment? But there was one game last year that actually significantly pissed me off. And that one I will leave for last. Okay? All right.
Oh,
everyone.
wait until you find out what that is.
I'm this to my audience, but this is going to be an interactive stream, meaning if people want to talk to me about the selections, if there's contribution.
Oh, so now you're making it unwatchable as a video on demand. Great job, Phil. This guarantees that even less people are going to care about this list. So it's a list that is not even ranked. So we're taking away that part that is entertaining. And also not necessarily even bad games. So we're taking away that part that's entertaining. And we're fucking up the pacing by having him talk to stream chat during the video. That's amazing.
Contributions. I will be speaking with them and shouting them out. There may be some back and forth between myself and my audience. All right. But the first game that I want to talk about is a game that I don't think anyone is going to question or think, gee, I wonder why Phil has this one on his list. This game, interestingly enough, was made by a former game developer who used to work for Rockstar.
This means nothing. I know what he's talking about, but this means nothing.
That's right, ladies
Whoa, this guy used to work for a company.
and gentlemen. The game that we're about to talk about is Mind's Eye.
Already a bad list. Already a bad list. Mind's Eye is a top 3 game. Any way you slice it, any way you look at it, any interpretation you have of a list like this, Mind's Eye is top 3 most disappointing / worst games / products of 2025. Mind's Eye is almost kind of a scam. It's almost a fucking scam.
And for those who don't remember,
And considering that it also looks at like an asset flip, and it was created with the idea for it to be like a live service multiplayer thing, but then they turned it around and decided to like salvage what they have and put together a single player game. It's a nightmare. Absolute garbage. Absolute trash. This should have been top 3.
and by the way, pay no attention to the man standing behind me.
And then this fucking bum is gonna have a shitty list, games that aren't even bad, and he's gonna have the one game that is objectively actual fucking dog shit. He's gonna have it at the last spot.
For those who don't remember, Mind's Eye was a game that was actually heavily hyped, that it may be the new game to take over for Grand Theft Auto.
No. No one actually took this seriously. No one took this seriously.
Going to be an open
This is gonna be the next GTA. No one fell for this hype.
world adventure featuring technology and mystery and all kinds of fun gameplay elements. And then the game actually came out. And when it did, what we all found out is that Mind's Eye was an atrocious mess. The game itself was not polished in any way whatsoever. It had huge physics problems. It had tons of boring, repetitive gameplay. It had NPCs doing some kind of weird slide across the floor like they were Iceman from X-Men. Cars disappearing. Things exploding, launching into the air.
All right, you got the point. It's disappointing because it was a bad game.
Ladies and gentlemen, the game next on my countdown of most disappointing games is Lost Records, Bloom and Rage.
Oh, is that the Life is Strange game? Yeah, aren't those games made for like teenage girls? I would figure Dark Side Phil, the mature adult geezer, would love them.
The whole narrative-based choose-your-own-adventure style game is something that I've done in the past. Life is Strange, particularly, is one of the series that I've been able to make some good content out of. This particular game, I feel, took it way too far. So, Lost Records Bloom and Rage is a game that follows 4 teenage girls from all different walks of life who meet each other during this one summertime, and they team up to have kind of almost misadventures. Now, the game's premise is that you're in the future, and these girls have grown up, but they've forgotten actually what happened in the past. They can't particularly actually remember what happened during this particular summer. So they're kind of having like flashback memories and trying to figure out what happened, okay?
The background music is so distracting, I'm sorry. I almost want to skip to the next entry.
Surface, that sounds interesting, doesn't
But I want to hear why he doesn't like it.
it? Oh, maybe they ran into something crazy, supernatural, or, you know, was it horror themed or something? And the game keeps endlessly teasing at something like that. As you can see, one of the characters has a video camera where she's documenting things with the camera. And that's one of the main gameplay elements of the game, is that you're trying to document as much as you possibly can while investigating what actually happened that summer. The problem is, this game is a huge bait and switch. While it sounds on the surface like it's really good, in reality, it's all just faked. It's just girls who kind of are angsty, and there's entire scenes based around these girls basically doing things. You'd be like, these are teenage girls
What is he even talking about? Like, what things are they doing? At least be more specific. I haven't played this game, but all I know about it is that it's a game for teenage girls.
Why would they be acting like this? Why would they be doing these risky things? You know what I'm saying? And the writing itself is incredibly cringy.
Oh, it probably
It
is.
sounds like the people who wrote the game are trying to either relive a youth that they never lived, meaning they wish this is how their youth was, but it really wasn't.
I love the secret hidden DSP behind the real DSP. It's so immersive.
Or they
Well, he's right behind me, isn't he?
just read
The-
a whole bunch of like teen books, novels, and they tried to regurgitate it into like game form. But
Oh, sure. So it's like a self-insert fanfic. Sure, fine. I find it totally believable. It looks like the type of game that would have that. But also, I don't get why Dark Side Phil played it. Like, what does he have to do playing a game like that? Anyways, moving on to the next one.
anyway, let's just get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a game that I don't think anyone is going to be shocked is on this listing whatsoever. From early 2025, oops, it's Assassin's Creed Shadows. So, Assassin's
What exactly was disappointing about this? That's what I don't understand. I'm not saying it's a great game. I'm not even saying it's a good game. But what exactly is disappointing? It's the annual Assassin's Creed entry in the franchise that has mechanics that are pretty much the same, that has a story that is very uninspired and very generic, pretty much the same as the previous ones, and it's just set in a different location that has been done way better than other games. Even other games that came out last year, Ghosts of Yote. So I don't know why it's disappointing.
Creed
It's not like I expected anything crazy.
Shadows, right from the get-go, already had massive controversy around it because it stars a female ninja.
Oh, I forgot that. Yeah, I forgot about the black samurai guy.
One ever in history, if ever there was one.
Well, by the way, the worst part of that is how unnecessary that guy is as like mechanically within the context of the game. Because he's like a big, buff, burly samurai dude that hits very hard, but it's an Assassin's Creed game, and the Assassin's Creed game plays so much better when you play as the assassin character who is agile and nimble and stealthy, and it just like it makes I forgot his name, Yasuke. It makes Yasuke just obsolete. So whenever you kind of have to play as him, you're either under-leveled or you just completely uninterested.
And it stars a African samurai.
It's just like mechanically they split one character that should have been like the guy from Ghost of Tsushima. It should have been a stealthy guy who can also be a samurai.
That's correct.
But instead they split this into two, and none of those characters actually is complete within itself.
Someone of darker skin who is apparently a samurai.
I actually really like talking about the DSP worst game list every year because I get to talk about video games and correct DSP shitty takes.
Right. And immediately people called this out before the game even came out and said, if you're going to finally have an Assassin's Creed set in Japan, why do you have two protagonists that aren't even stereotypical people from Japan? Like, they're the outliers. They're the exception to the rule. We've been waiting so long for Assassin's Creed to be in Japan. Why not actually have a game that's representative of what would happen?
How is the girl not representative? What? Because she's a girl? A girl shinobi? Wasn't that also like a thing that existed?
Japan.
I've seen this in anime.
So, right from the get-go, there was a huge misstep when they made the game. But for me, to be honest with all of you, when I actually bought and played the game, I never even got that far. You might say, what do you mean? What you're seeing here is representative of the first 12 hours of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Because in the intro, you only play as Yasuke, the Black Samurai, for about 20 minutes. It goes a little bit of his intro cutscenes, but you never actually really play as him in his story. It just goes right to the female ninja. You're then forced to play her story almost tirelessly and endlessly for about 15 plus hours before the game goes back to Yasuke. And as you can see, this is the gameplay of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Essentially, you go through towns, killing endless amounts of enemies. All you do is sneak around and murder people, grab resources, and take over bases. That's the game. All right? Assassin's Creed used to be, hey, you're an assassin, sneak into town, be very stealthy, go.
Are you not doing that in the footage? Like, I somewhat understand his criticism, but also there's so much like bullshit within it. Yeah, you are like a shadow. You can do that. You can do that in this game. It's just very unfocused and watered down.
Kill someone and get out.
You totally can. Matter of fact, the game gets about 10 times better if you turn off pretty much all of the HUD and everything that the game shows you. And then you actually have to pay attention and stealth around. But that's kind of like a crutch. So that's you having fun despite the developers making a very mediocre game.
Bonus points if you're undetected and if you don't actually kill anyone along the way besides your target, right? Now, the game is literally infiltrate a base, become a one-man army, murder as many people as possible, in fact, get rewarded for the more murders you commit, and loot and get out. What? How is that Assassin's Creed? Like, it's not at all.
Did he not play the previous 3 Assassin's Creeds? Odyssey, Origins, Valhalla played pretty much identically to this. Like, the core gameplay loop was pretty much the same. Including in Valhalla, you had to go around raiding villages, which is the opposite of what an assassin does.
In any way, is that anything to do with Assassin's Creed? What they did is they almost double and triple down on the formula of games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Valhalla and said, open world's the way to go now. Just make it an endless grind of going through these areas and killing as many as you can and taking over as much as you can. It doesn't make any sense. You're not meant to be a one-man army if you're an assassin.
Oh, I hate this. There's so much criticism that you can give this game, but this is like, he's so surface level with this. It's infuriating.
And that's not even what the word is.
Because there's no analysis. There's no actual insight. I can barely even tell that this guy played the fucking game. It's so fucking basic. It's almost like he's paraphrasing a YouTube video that he watched.
Means. So,
well, you're not an assassin. Okay, explain why. Come on, just break it down. You've played the game. You can do some insightful analysis.
What were they going for with this game? Basically, nothing to do with anything that people wanted with Assassin's Creed. In fact, it actually was confusing because the last Assassin's Creed game was a return to form. If you remember, they had a game that was more small scale, only about 20 hours.
No, that the return to form thing was such smoke and mirrors bullshit. Return to form. No, they just made a game from 2009. They just did that. They just made Assassin's Creed, the original, but less interesting and more bland.
Hours long, and you again were in smaller towns doing single assassinations. And that made a heck of
because the AI, the NPC AI was terrible. The stealth was very bare bones. You had very little freedom of approach. The tool set that you got was pretty good. Actually, that's the best part of Mirage. And the parkour, I guess, is okay. Yeah, it's fine. The outfits were cool because Assassin's Creed has always been a franchise that lives and dies off of its iconography. Like, Altair is a legendary video game character because he looks cool and pretty much nothing else. Like, the guy has bare minimum personality.
A lot of sense. This game, going back to the open world formula, sneaking in this giant world and just killing as many as you possibly can, doesn't even make sense for the series, okay? After about 10 hours, what happened was the game forced you to get these resources to continue. I'm not kidding. You had a base, and in this home base, you had to grind for resources as if it was like an MMO RPG or something. And so you had to keep going back and killing people and trying to loot to get the resources. It was the most boring thing ever in Assassin's Creed. And basically around 15 hours, I said, I'm not playing this anymore. Like, I'm just not having any fun. This isn't what the game's supposed to be. The story, by the way, is very boring.
It is. That is true. It is very boring and watered down, which is a big problem with the open world RPG Assassin's Creed games, where when you separate the story into so many smaller stories, you lose any sense of urgency that you might have had, and you water down the main story so much. Because by the time I get to the next plot point, I've done 15 side quests and story mission chains that go nowhere and are completely obsolete, and I forgot what the main plot is about.
Takes way too long to go from part to part. The best comparison I can give would be Mafia 3. If you remember in Mafia 3, that was a game that if the story kept moving, it would have been over in 20 hours, but would have been an amazing game. But the game kept padding itself and forcing you to do base takeovers to order to get to the next leg of the story. That's literally what they did with this game 10 years later. It's a game where if you just didn't have to do the grinding, it would probably be fun. But instead, you were so forced to do this repetitive combat and takeovers. It's just not.
I actually really like Mafia 3. I don't know. It's the kind of grindy game that I like. And also, you don't have to do all the side stuff to proceed. You need to do 3 per, I guess, region.
Not anything
Oh,
interesting at all. I better things to do with my time than do repetitious nonsense over and over. So Assassin's Creed Shadows did poorly. For those who don't know, it actually was a flop for Ubisoft.
No, that's rage bait.
The game
They did admit that it was a profitable franchise, or there was some sort of semantics. But you can never trust those corporations. They would never admit that the game flopped.
did not sell nearly as well as they had intended for the amount of money and time they put into its development. And then the CEO went on a PR campaign basically saying, well, it's because of people who complained on the internet about the protagonist rather than caring about the game and its elements. It's a game for gamers, and the gamers didn't care because of all the stuff online. No, the gamers didn't care because your game sucks. You've lost your way as a game developer. You're no longer making games.
All right. And I hate that I have to say this because I don't like the game, and I definitely don't like Ubisoft. But Assassin's Creed Shadows is a major success for Ubisoft. From sales to online chatter, it appears it is the hit that Ubisoft needed. And there's also a bunch of other publications. There's Forbes. Let's check that out. 2 million players, Steam numbers, Steam comparison charts. And yeah, I don't know. Enough to save Ubisoft. All of this only has to do with initial launch numbers. I don't know. Ultimately, I don't give a fuck. But I don't think he's correct on this. I think Ubisoft are satisfied with the performance.
Games for gamers.
And if they weren't, they definitely wouldn't admit it.
That's why gamers don't like it. It has nothing to do with the fact that people made us stink that the protagonists aren't in line with what probably was happening during this era in Japanese history. It has to do with the fact that the game is fucking boring.
Bro, most of the people, like the average person playing the game, the average, literal most average gamer who bought the game has no idea about the controversy, historically accurate bullshit. Like they really don't know. This shit that goes popular on the internet, the discourse about it on the internet, it kind of stays on the internet.
No one wants to play another open world Assassin's Creed where we have to waste 10 hours, 20 hours before we get to the next leg of interesting story. You're an idiot.
Especially when there's no interesting story.
Give up. All right. So what's a shame about that series is that Assassin's Creed has been one of my favorite game series over the years that I've been a YouTuber.
Bullshit.
They have gone so far off the deep end that, quite honestly, I don't know if they can ever recover at this point. Like, seriously, I just don't know if there's anything that Assassin's Creed can do that people are going to care about the series again. Like, I don't even know. Like, there was actually a story that they were in development making a game. Listen to this. It was going to be set in the days of slavery, and you were going to be like an escaped slave that becomes an assassin, and you were going to fight against like the slave owner, plantation owners.
Yo, like in the Assassin's Creed game that exists? What? Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry? A game where you play as a slave? What? No way. Get a load of this story. This is a thing that exists, actually. It's a game that you can still buy where you play as a freed slave.
And you might say, oh, well, that's a woke story. No, I actually think that's a good story. Like, that story would have been way better than what they did with Assassin's Creed Shadows. But guess what happened? Assassin's Creed Shadows was coming out and was getting all this flack for...
Oh, yeah, and Liberation. Hold on, was that Liberation? No, that's Freedom Cry. But Liberation also was. And matter of fact, Liberation was made by the Bulgarian Ubisoft. So shout out to them if they haven't been closed yet. And this one, not only do you play as a female, but you play as a dark-skinned female. So don't tell DSP that.
The protagonist being black, even though there were no real black samurai, and the other protagonist is a female ninja. And guess what they did? They canceled it. They actually canceled the game and said, we can't make this game in this current climate. No, you can. It just has to be good.
Like, what? I want to look that up. Did they actually do that? Or is it just like a DSP hallucination again? Like when AI just makes shit up. So, Assassin's Creed canceled a slavery game? I don't know. Game canceled to avoid Project Scarlet. All right. There might be some truth to that. Ubisoft canceled Assassin's Creed Project Scarlet for fear of political backlash. The canceled Assassin's Creed game would have cast players as a former enslaved person battling the KKK. Oh, so we're talking about like post what was that? Post Civil War. All right. Yeah, well, that is correct. But also, like, why would you want to make it like that? It's such a weird place to set an Assassin's Creed game in. I don't know. I don't like the modern times. Keep it like old school, so we can have swords and like old timey pistols. Like the most recent that I would like to get is Syndicate. Syndicate is like the most modern that I'm cool with Assassin's Creed being, because that game is essentially Assassin's Creed Grand Theft Auto.
All you have to do is make a good game, and people will dig your story. Just make a good game. But instead, they go for this kind of agenda-first attitude.
Oh my god, again, we wound up at the just make good games part of the criticism.
And it flops.
What an obsolete opinion.
That's why Assassin's Creed Shadow flops, because no one cared about the game by the time it came out, and then on top of it, the game was bad. They don't get that, though. They really don't understand. All right, so let's continue. Ladies and gentlemen, there was an interesting game, at least I thought it would be interesting, that came out in 2024. This was a game that really was not in my wheelhouse of a game that I normally would play. All right, but people said, hey, you're a PC gamer now. Will you check out more variety of games and different stuff? And I said, sure, I will. Let's check it out. Let's see what this game is.
Like, why can't you just tell DSP, just make good streams, bro, when he asks for feedback? And you can just tell him, well, just make a good stream. It's not that hard. Look at Asmongold or Moist Critical or, but I don't know, Aiden Ross, like whatever guy is streaming with a lot of people watching him.
It's all about. And so
just make a good stream, Phil.
That was not in my comfort zone whatsoever.
Like, that's your job, right? The developers' jobs are to make good video games, and your job is to make good streams. Why are the games suck and your streams are trash? Why?
It was called Inzoi.
Oh, this is the Sims ripoff. Well, not ripoff, but thing. The Sims thing.
Where my gunner glasses are actually my aviator glasses. I don't know why I wore those during this particular day. But Inzoi was a game that everyone was touting as the modern Sims. This game, you can make a virtual version of yourself, and you could go around town doing stuff like hanging out with other Inzoi characters. You can eat, you can drink, you could do activities, you can get a job and work. You could do all of these things, okay? And when I played the game, I didn't really know what to expect. And at first, I actually was having a lot of fun with this game. The initial, character creation, setting up personality traits, interacting with certain people in town and going and buying food and, checking out what's available in the area. It's pretty good, to be honest. And the graphics, actually, for a Sim-style game like this, are actually pretty outstanding. You take a look, I think the game actually looks quite good. But the further I got into Inzoi, of the 2 or 3 streams that I did of it, the cracks started to show. For example, I got a job. And then I got...
Oh, yeah, that's a bug. That must be glitched. If Darkside Phil got a job in the video game, that's glitched. He should be not enabled to get a job. It's DSP. It's not realistic.
To go to the job, and this is what happened. Literally, the taxi froze in place, and I was like, what's going on? Why is nothing happening? Why can't I do anything? So come to find out, in the game, half the jobs weren't done. They had sold the game, but half the jobs hadn't been put into it yet. So if you chose an occupation that didn't exist in the game, you would get into a car to go to work and sit in the car all day. Then you would leave the car and earn money for sitting in the car all day.
That's awesome. Come on.
That's my understanding.
They could at least like fast forward it like they did in The Sims.
That you were supposed to actually have the job in there and you would do tasks at the job, but they didn't have that in the game yet. Okay? So similarly to this, as I continued to play and do certain things in the game, other things were unfinished. For example, I found out if you go to the theme park, half the rides don't work. Wait, what? So half the jobs aren't in the game, half the rides don't work.
Wait. This is, yeah, because I was thinking about it. This game is early access. It actually is. But I need to check that, so I'm not bullshitting. Hold on. Okay. Crafton launches Inzoi in global early access. Right. Is it still? I think it still is. Yeah, it still is in early access. We have that on Steam. I just want to have that confirmed on Steam. Yep, it is. There it is. There it is. That's it. Early access game. Early access game not finished and buggy? What? Disclaimer? There is one.
What else is unfinished in this game? Well, come to find out, actually, the game is mostly unfinished, but they were selling it for play. Why would you do that? It was very confusing because it didn't...
He's legitimately dented, man. And he's dented to a point where this is not... Like, he's kind of wasting his time having these opinions because they're either incorrect or based off of shit that's incorrect or that he misunderstood. So, of course, I'm not going to read the whole disclaimer here that says early access game, but the developers have written like 10 paragraphs explaining why this is early access in that it doesn't work. Well, it doesn't. It has features that don't work. So anyway, let's keep
like
going.
The game was anywhere near ready to be sold. If you're getting such an early experience with the game, where you can't even do half the stuff in the game, well, that doesn't seem to make much sense, does it? So for me, I was very, very disappointed with the game. But ultimately, the thing that really got me was what happened at the end of my playthrough.
Yeah, he died.
To show you. Right here. Out of nowhere. Here's what happened. Phil Burnell has passed away. And as I was playing, we were all trying to figure out what happened. Nothing happened. The game is completely broken, and you just randomly die for no reason.
But isn't that also kind of like in reality? You can just randomly die for no reason. You just can. I like that. I like that. It keeps the game interesting because I guess this game is not like a super serious game. It's kind of The Sims, and The Sims is at its most fun when you're doing goofy stuff with the characters.
Wasn't sick.
When you put a character in the pool and you delete the ladder, that's awesome. This is the best part.
My character wasn't unhealthy. My character was actually fine.
Right. So his problem is that the game that is in early access was in early access. That is the complete DSP take, and that disappointed him.
Want to have next in my countdown is one that was one of my shortest playthroughs ever because basically I wasn't allowed to continue. The game that is next is South of Midnight. Okay?
Oh, no. Oh, this is going to be the worst segment. He wasn't allowed to continue.
So for those who don't
listen to this shit.
know, South of Midnight is a game that was on Game Pass, and it was heavily touted as Xbox Game Studios game. You know, it's going to be an interesting game, and you're going to check it out because it's visual style. As you can see, the colors and everything are kind of almost like a cartoonish, cel-shaded style game. It actually had a soundtrack that was very like Southern music. You know, it took place in the bayou, so very like Southern United States kind of a deal, Louisiana style stuff. So in that regard, the game actually kind of stood out. All right, and I played this game. This is the basically the intro hours of the game that you're seeing right here, the tutorial, trying to learn the gameplay mechanics. And honestly, I actually was enjoying the game. I would compare South of Midnight in the time that I spent in it to a PS2 era game. There's some action combat.
Yeah, this is the most like average game I've seen in my life. Is legitimately the most average game I've seen. I've never played this. There's no reason to play this. Like, just simply watching somebody play it is more than enough.
There's platforming. It's
like, if you're any sort of a gaming fan, you have experienced this mechanically. Probably the story you've also experienced in some way. It's totally a redundant video game.
Some puzzles and things to solve. Ultimately, I think where the game was shining for me was that it actually had a unique visual style, and also it had a good music, good soundtrack. But the combat itself was kind of simplistic. The platforming was kind of basic. And like I said, I would compare it to an era of maybe like Sly Cooper or Jak and Daxter or Ratchet and Clank. Like a combination of kind of those games, that era of gaming. All right? That doesn't mean the game is bad at all. That's just what the game was. Okay? But here's what happened when I played South of Midnight. Started playing the game, and I started to give my honest opinions on it, if I liked it or not. And the audience during the entire time that I started playing this game were screaming at me, this game is woke. This game is terrible. It's so leftist. It's so liberal. It's woke. It's woke. And I would turn to the audience.
It's so
and be like,
dumb.
how is it woke? Really, can you explain to me how the game is woke? Because I was playing it, and nothing that was going on in the plot was woke at all. If you think that any game that has an African-American person as the protagonist is woke, you're racist. I'm sorry, you just are. Just solely based on the color of
This is the most unnecessary segment of all time about the most unnecessary video game of all time.
someone's skin doesn't mean that a game is woke. The idea of woke, for those who don't know, is originally that people are supposed to be awoken, taken out of their trance, realizing that there's prejudice in the world and being aware of your surroundings, and then basically taking appropriate actions because of that.
Like DSP, like Phil.
Woke mentality where people who are supposed to like say, okay, well, I understand
He's socially conscious. He knows everything that's going on.
that there's certain groups of people that are considered minorities and they don't get equal treatment with everyone else, so we should give them better opportunities and give them assistance and things like that. That's kind of the essence of the woke movement. But what's happened is now the entire thing has changed, and now everyone says that anything that's woke has to do at all with minorities or anything that even involves someone who's black or someone who's even Middle Eastern and stuff. It's woke now because you have someone who's not white as the protagonist. Okay, that's not true. Sorry.
What? But like, why? Why would you go on this rant? Why? I mean, I guess he could have gone on this rant at the time when he was playing the game, but like, why do we care about it now? Why is this why is it a disappointing game to him because other people called it woke? Like, he talked about it like he kind of liked the game. He thought it was fine.
It's just not. Okay? So here I am, I'm playing this game, and I'm enjoying the gameplay mechanics. I'm enjoying the soundtrack.
Right. So it's not disappointing?
Enjoying these things, right? And every time that I keep looking at the chat, it's just, this game's woke, we don't like it, why are you playing it? And it actually drove me nuts. Like, I'm just trying to enjoy a game on its own merit. Now, very much, maybe the game did actually have woke elements in it, but I certainly didn't even get to them. All right? I was in the tutorial. I was in the first 2 hours of the game, and I couldn't get anyone
Look at this gameplay, by the way. The most lobotomized gameplay ever.
this game or even give it a fair shake. People were just so turned off that the main character apparently is woke that I couldn't enjoy it. So after the original stream playing it, I said, listen, this is a game that I was enjoying. I like the platforming elements. I like the exploration. I like the puzzles. I like the combat. I like the music. This is something that I would personally maybe go play, but I guess I just can't stream it. Right? Like, I'm not going to stream a game where everyone's going to complain every moment that I play it.
But I mean, you wanted the Asmongold audience. Like, what are you complaining about now? You got what you wanted, buddy.
So the truth,
Like, what did you think they were gonna say?
all right, I don't know if the game did well or not. From what I'm going to understand, it didn't. The game actually, it was
I mean, it looks like the blandest thing to ever exist. Like, it looks like one of those things where you have nothing to say about it. So I guess that's why they're talking about it being woke, because you got nothing else to say about it. It's so bland and devoid of anything interesting.
a Game Pass game, okay? So it did get some attention for being kind of free on Game Pass or whatever, and some people did play it, right? But it didn't really get most notoriety or whatever. And what's funny is it won the award at the Game Awards for, what was it called? Is it Games for Change or Games for Purpose? What was it?
Oh, who fucking cares? The Game Award. Everybody got one.
It was basically some kind of a game.
I'm surprised I don't have a fucking Games Award from Jeff Keighley. Maybe I need to suck his dick a little bit more.
Awards. And I was like, well, why did it win that award? And I was confused. And people were like, well, they won the award because the protagonist is African American. I said, huh? So again, for the equal reasons that I don't understand why people hated on the game, because the protagonist was African American, I don't understand why the game also won an award because the protagonist is African American. You know what I'm saying? Like, it goes both ways. You shouldn't hate on the game because of that, but you also shouldn't be awarding the game solely on that premise. Was the game good? At this point, I don't even know. I'm so confused. I don't even know.
He doesn't even know if the game was good after talking about it for 10 minutes and admitting that it was good and he was enjoying it. So it's disappointing to you because of what other people said about it? That's a great personal opinion, Phil. That's a very reliable personal opinion.
My mind is addled, and I'm like, I don't know. I honestly wish I did play it more, but I'm a streamer who streams things for an audience. I have to play things the audience will show up for and like, and the audience obviously didn't like this. So I was like, well, I guess this is one, I'll take the L, and I guess I'm just not going to play it. But hey, I would say again, if you like games from the PS2 era, and you wanted to play something that was a modern version of that, I feel like it plays like that. I don't know about the story or anything later about it, but I actually was enjoying the game. I was disappointed that my audience basically said, no, we refuse to watch you play this, and I had to basically go on from it and never go back to it. But that's kind of just the thing. When you are a streamer, you have to go with your audience, and sometimes there's games that I like and they don't, and there's just nothing I can really do about it, and it is what it is. Okay? Okay. Moving on. Our next entry in the most disappointing games countdown is another game that sadly...
All right, let's move on to the next one that was disappointing. Or was it disappointing? Maybe it was disappointing if someone else told him it was.
I only played one stream, and I was very much enjoying it, but the audience again all complained and said, we don't like this game. But I want to give it a moment in the sun here because
So his audience, they can't handle games with black people in them, so they go super racist. They can't handle games with sexy stuff in it, so they go super gooner mode and super sexual. Like, what kind of fucking audience is that, dude? Like, what kind of people are you making videos for?
I actually think that it's a good game and that you might...
What the fuck?
The game that we're talking about today is called Cast and Chill.
And this was disappointing?
Okay? This is very much an indie game. Okay, just to make it abundantly clear.
As if it wasn't abundantly clear from the first frame that you see of it. I thought this was a Rockstar Games game.
The visual style is pixel art, as you can see. And the whole premise of Cast and Chill is very simple. You go out on a boat with your dog. You cast. You try to catch fish, and you chill. The whole purpose of the game is basically to relax. Now, as you catch different fish, you'll be able to buy upgrades for your line. You'll be able to get a better boat. You'll be able to unlock new maps. And you'll be able to basically do new things. And the locations will change. And the actual...
And this is not even like... I would put this, if I was even disappointed by this, which it doesn't even look like a disappointing game, but I would put this at the last spot. Because it seems like a totally normal, decent, chill game.
Visuals get even more beautiful. And you can do it at different times of...
Oh, and considering the developers gave them a free code, I think. Not exactly sure, but there was something with the developers involved.
Day, so you can fish at night or day, different fish will show up and stuff like that. And personally, I liked it a lot. We were looking at this point for a new relaxing game for my rotation. And I thought, you know, I even dressed up for it. I brought out my fisherman's hat again for the first time in like years to try to drive some hype for it. It just didn't work. People were saying that they were more bored than entertained, even though there was an opportunity for people to hang out with me and talk and interact. Most people said, this is super boring. We're not enjoying this. We just want you to do something else. So after one stream, that was it. But this is a game I just want to let you know it's very cheap. It's only a few bucks. I feel like if you're looking for a relaxation style game, this is it. There may be streamers who can make this work with their audience. Sadly, I wasn't one. You know, I'd played fishing games previous. That's why I thought maybe it would have worked.
So this one, we're not even hiding that he's disappointed because people didn't give him money.
But people just felt
like we're not even hiding that. There's no other
incredible
nonsense around it.
This is just a short and sweet one. I think it's a fine game. I was disappointed because it was one that I was liking. It didn't work with the audience, so I had to move on. But Cast and Chill, you might want to give it a look if you're looking for a relaxing game. Okay.
There you go. Wow. How disappointing. All right, now we get into the top 10.
That I feel was massively overhyped.
Well, this is number 9. So let's see.
That sold solely for one purpose, which isn't a good reason, and a game that suffered from insane amounts of padding, and then had a really, really good point at the end. But you got to ask, what gives with the way that the game rolled out? Let me explain, ladies and gentlemen. The next game on our disappointing games countdown is Donkey Kong Bonanza on the Switch 2. Okay? So when the Switch 2 released in June of 2025, immediately the question arose, well, what games are we going to get for this thing? Because immediately there was only Mario Kart World and a bunch of ports.
Oh
So when Donkey
no,
Kong
this is
Bonanza
the Nintendo part of the
Released
list.
a month later,
Honestly, I don't care about Nintendo. I'm not gonna defend this game. I'm not gonna attack this game. I know nothing about this game, to be honest.
everyone jumped on it. Oh my God, it's a first-party title.
So I can't help you here, guys. He might have the worst takes ever, but I wouldn't know.
Had some of the game devs working on it who actually had worked on Super Mario Odyssey. So all of us who love Super Mario Odyssey was super duper excited for this game to come out. We heard that there were going to be brand new game mechanics. It wouldn't play like Donkey Kong Country, but something completely different. Everything was destructible. You could punch and dig your way through anything in the game, which is going to give a whole new element to the gameplay. It's fully going to utilize the graphical capabilities and the processing power of the Switch 2. This is something that never would have been possible on the Switch 1, right? It all sounds good, doesn't it? I mean, wow. All right. Sounds like the kind of game that I think is going to blow me away. I'm really going to enjoy, and we're all going to have a great time with. And to some extent, that's true. What you're seeing right now is the first hour of the game, where I went to the first room, and I got so hooked on the destruction aspect of the game that I literally, like, destroyed everything in it. Like, I was like, wow, I can't believe that everything actually is destructible. Now, yeah, there's limits to where you can break things in a room, like metal walls that you can see here past all of the dirt. But for the most part, it was pretty insane to see a game where you could just keep digging upwards and keep going up and destroying things. Almost like Bugs Bunny in a Looney Tunes cartoon, digging and popping out of the ground. You can do that in Donkey Kong Bonanza. There's almost limitless amounts of items you're looking for, whether it's giant golden bananas, pieces of gold that you can use to buy upgrades, whether it's the collectibles, which you could use to do other kinds of upgrades or more. You have a sonar. When you clap, you can see the items through the walls, which is really cool because it helps you to solve the puzzles and figure stuff out where that weird stuff is hidden in the worlds. There's also animal transformations, where you can turn into things like a zebra and run super fast, or you can become an ostrich that can fly, or you can become a snake that does a super jump because you spring up like a coil and bounce like a spring. And all of that sounds great on paper, doesn't it? In fact, I'll admit, when you first run into that stuff in the game, you're blown away. Look at my face. Look at my face.
Okay, so like, how long are we gonna talk about this?
I'm actually genuinely happy.
Just get to the point, bozo.
I'm like, wow,
Come on.
this is so neat. I can't believe it.
So why do you not like it?
All right, and the problem is very simple. That's the whole game. Everything that I just described, destroying things in order to find hidden items and doing a few transformations, is the entirety of Donkey Kong Bonanza. Are there some boss fights? Yes, but they're an afterthought. And a lot of them are kind of buggy and wonky because the Switch 2 can't handle the graphics very well. So during certain boss fights, the frame rate dips and the boss fights become chores because of that. But outside of that, every world in Donkey Kong Bonanza is almost exactly the same. You go into an area, you look around for hidden bananas, use your sonar to find items in the walls, you destroy everything around you.
You know, this is a boring as fuck segment. When I think snack pizza nom nom in the paragraphs that he shit posts in DSP chat is way more entertaining than anything DSP is saying.
You get the items, wash, rinse, and repeat. Now, there are some challenge stages where you're going to be challenged with platforming and stuff like that. The thing is, those challenges are not even representative of the core game. You can skip them all and still turbo through the game, and there's no problem. In fact, I would go as far to say that Donkey Kong Bonanza is insanely easy. It is one of the easier games that you'll probably ever play in the modern day. The game itself lasts about 20 to 30 hours, okay? The first hour is incredibly good. Then when you realize the second or third or fourth world, it's all the same, you're like, oh, well, the substances we're punching are different. It's lava, it's ice, it's sticky goo, it's poison, but you're still just breaking it all just to find items in the walls. And if they never innovate on top of that, what is the interest of the game? And the answer is there is none. Now you might say, well, wait, you just said there were animal transformations. There are. Problem is they're almost never used. Once you get the zebra transformation, you'll use it to go on one or two platforms, and you'll probably use it in a boss fight, and then you'll never use it again for the entirety of the game. I'm serious.
Frankly, I don't trust him for one reason that I now remembered. One of the games, much like Silk Song, Donkey Kong Bonanza was a game that he played for months. which is like a family-centric game for adults and children, and this guy playing it for months is a huge red flag for me. That makes his opinion very untrustworthy. And considering that some people that I know very much liked the game or thought that at least it was a pleasant experience, and then I'm looking at this guy telling you essentially it's a fucking scam, I don't know. I don't really trust it.
There was one at the end of the game, you get the snake transformation. You, like, never use it for anything besides maybe one room. Like, why is it even in the game then? Why'd they bother putting it in there?
Sure. Okay, this segment overstayed its welcome. Let's move on to number 8.
Continuing on.
Which also isn't number 8. It's just a number, because this is not an ordered
We're
list.
just used to this countdown being the thing that I just do and don't talk to people. I don't know.
Because if it was an ordered list, it would be very funny that Donkey Kong Bonanza is more disappointing than Mind's Eye.
Right? Okay? All right. Continuing on. The next game in my most disappointing games countdown of 2025. This is a short and sweet one. Okay? This game was a follow-up to a game that I had previously played a couple years before, but it was sold as a standalone. That's why I'm counting this as a new game. Technically, it's kind of a DLC, but it was sold as a standalone game. Okay? This was a game that originally, the original game I liked, although you could tell it didn't have a ginormous budget or whatever, but I felt like they did justice to the intellectual property. The game was fun. It was a good romp. It had, you know, interesting mechanics, and in general, it was a fun filler playthrough. It certainly wasn't anything that I went crazy for, but at the same time, we had a good time. But then we played the follow-up last year, right? And this one, sadly, had a bad fate. Ladies and gentlemen, the next game on the countdown is a game that you may not even know that I play. It is called RoboCop Rogue City Unfinished Business.
So it's a DLC? Or is it standalone? I think you just talked about it. I just spaced out, kind of.
Unfinished Business? I didn't even know Phil played this. Well, you might not know I played it because I only played 2 parts. And it
this one of those that people didn't give money
it
for.
wasn't because I wasn't having a good time with it.
Oh, so it's not disappointing, therefore not belonging on this list?
It was because the game was insanely buggy on PC. To show you what I mean, I'm going to go to the point where basically I couldn't play the game anymore. Well, if I could find it. Basically what happened was I would go to this particular terminal, and this terminal needed to be interacted with so that you could open a door. And there was nothing else you could do in the game. There was no other place to go. There was nothing else you could do. You had to interact with this particular terminal to open a door. So I interacted with the terminal, and every time that I did, my game would literally crash. And I was like, well, that's not good. What am I supposed to do if I can't interact with this particular terminal? In fact, I think this was the first time that this happened here.
Amazing segment. Yep, okay.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe not.
This is definitely the part. You could say this is a buggy mess on PC.
I mean, the whole segment, you just had to prove one point that the game is buggy, and you can't do that.
Over. But I can't seem to pinpoint the time when it happened.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
over.
here it is. So it says, here's the gates. The gates don't have power, right? So you have to interact with this particular terminal. And when you do it, when you override, and this is a game mechanic that you used 1,000,000 times in the original game before this standalone DLC was sold, the game would close.
All right.
And this happened.
Yeah, people in chat are saying to verify the game files on Steam, which I don't think he did.
I think 2 to 3 times, and there was no way to fix it. So I was like, oh, that's great. So basically, I'm hard locked. And this was a case where, sadly, the game was all right, and it was meant to be like a filler playthrough, but I wasn't going to go back weeks later after they patched it to try to actually play it again. No one really cared. It was supposed to be like a thing that we were just going to do quickly and have fun filling in, you know, empty times between streams. It just sucked. And the worst part about all this, I actually heard on console, this game had no problems. That on console, it played fine. It was only the PC version.
All right. To do my due diligence, I did look up this issue, and it is an actual game-breaking bug, as people say here. I was able to complete the game before the latest patch. Now when playing on the quest, right after the point when the player encounters the first gate with no power, when attempting to override the laptop, the game crashes to desktop every time. And this is an issue that other people have had as well. And verifying the files and restarting doesn't work. So this is a huge win for Darkside Phil. He had one accurate, provable take
that actually had this horrible problem.
Okay, well, we got the point of this segment. Let's move on to number 7. So this is what? This is another early access thing? This Silent Hill? Oh, it is Silent Hill. Looks like the Japanese girl from Silent Hill. Yeah, there it goes. Silent Hill. Yeah.
On the thumbnail for
Okay. Predictions. What is he gonna say? I haven't played this game, but I'll just come up with a list of things that I think he's gonna say. First, it's nothing like Silent Hill. Second, the combat is bad. Third, it's woke, I guess, and then that's it.
for this video, what was the schoolgirl in a Japanese schoolgirl outfit? It was the main character protagonist of Silent Hill F. But the reason that Silent Hill F was a game that massively disappointed me this year wasn't the initial game design, wasn't the fact that the game was set in Japan, wasn't the fact that the game had so many departures from Silent Hill. It was the fact that the game turned the main character into a werewolf who then used combat abilities straight out of Devil May Cry to do combos and special attacks to kill enemies. Something that goes so against the core tenets of what Silent Hill is meant to be, so just forgoes anything that would be scary, that would be survival horror, that I had a hard time swallowing, to the point where I just couldn't take the game seriously after this happened in the plot. And it gets worse and worse. For the record, this is initially when the girl transforms, but it actually gets worse where she gets more abilities and transforms further into a werewolf further into the game you go. It's terrible. It's horrible. It's completely off base for what Silent Hill's meant to be. It takes all of the survival horror element out of the game whatsoever. And by the end of the game, all you can do is shake your head like this and say, I can't imagine what they were thinking besides, we want to make Silent Hill a different kind of game to make more money. Because Silent Hill is an incredibly popular and prominent survival horror franchise.
All right. I think we heard all his points. Like I said, I haven't played it, so I don't really care if he's correct or not.
Of 2020.
Number 6
is me and Hades 2.
What?
You might say, wait, what? Hades 2 is a great game. Hades 2 actually was Game of the Year contender. Tons of people love Hades 2. How could Hades 2 be one of your most disappointing games of the year? Okay? There's 2 reasons why. It has nothing whatsoever to do with the gameplay of the game.
Yeah, it's buggy because it's early access.
Actually, to do with my experience with said game. Okay? There's 2 reasons why I was very disappointed with Hades 2 in 2025. Reason number 1. Hades 2 had an early release in 2024. The game was not yet completed. I was a person who purchased that game early and played the early access.
Yeah, but you bought the game knowing full well that this game is incomplete, and you purchased the game to help the developers financially be able to have the resources to complete the game, which they did.
I was having a ton of fun with it, but after streaming it 2 or 3 times, I was told by my audience, hey Phil, hold off. Stop playing Hades 2, because that game's not done. And if you continue to play Hades 2, you're going to see parts of the game that are unfinished. You're going to basically get too far in the game, and then when the real game comes out, it's not going to make sense for you to play it because it's changed or it's different, or you're going to have to start over, and no one's going to want to see that. So I was urged by my audience to stop playing Hades 2 in 2024 when it was in early access.
What a bunch of bullshit. Again, like a completely nonsensical fucking opinion. Why did this list need to be 15 games when at least half of them are completely invalid for him to be disappointed by? It's bullshit.
Then we were waiting and waiting. When will it actually have its official full release date, right? What I'm disappointed at is the way that they released this game. And what I mean by that is it had absolutely no build-up, no hype. It essentially pretty much almost shadow dropped. It was announced like, what was it, like a week, not even, maybe a week before it was coming out. Hey, it's coming out, full release. Wait, what? To make matters worse, it came out in the midst of the busy fall gaming season. Now, if it had come out in the middle of the summer and nothing else was going on, maybe then it wouldn't have been a big deal. But it came out in the midst of the busiest gaming season of the year. So, of course, people are going to want me to be playing the more higher profile games, the brand new games, over the game I've already played the early access to the year before. So, honestly, it just didn't get hype. So here I am playing it on my stream. I'm enjoying it and having a good time. The audience is disengaged. They're not having a good time. They're saying, we've already seen this. Why are you playing it again? Well, because I played early access. Well, you already played it. What? That's confusing. I feel like this game actually would have done better if it didn't have that crazy early access window like it did. Now, you might very fairly criticize what I just said and be like, but don't you know that Hades 1 had a very wide early access window as well, and it ended up being incredibly successful? Sure. And Hades 1 was a game that was a first entry to the series that no one knew about and wanted to give it a shot and understand what it was. So that early access window made sense. Because no one knew what Hades 1 was or if they were going to like it, testing it early allowed people to get hooked on that gameplay loop and say, man, I can't wait for the full release. In the case of Hades 2, we know what the game is. We know what the gameplay loop will be like. Why do we need to test it a year early? We don't. The early access window actually, in my opinion, made zero sense for it to exist because by the time the game came out, there was no hype behind it anymore. We already knew what it was. Most people who wanted to play it had already played it. Then they released it during a time when there was insane amounts of competition in the gaming landscape. So it didn't even get the hype that the first game had gotten upon its full release. It really didn't. Like, people played it, but it wasn't like, oh, Hades 2 get hype game of the year. It wasn't really like that vibe at all, anywhere. The people who were big fans of Hades 2 enjoyed it, but I'd be shocked to hear that this game did insane sales numbers or anything like that. So I feel like they did themselves a disservice treating it as if it were the same game a second time. That instead they maybe should have treated it more like a hyped release, a bigger release, because it had a following now. I couldn't sell it to my audience. I tried hard. I was like, guys, no, listen, Hades 2, right? It's a great game. We played it last year. I can't wait to play it. I think I only played 2 or 3 streams of it tops, and then people didn't care and said, please stop playing this. Do anything else. We're bored. So I moved on from it. And it's sad because at this point, I would love to play it, but I can't get interest in it. People outright told me we are never, in fact, since I stopped playing it, no one asked me to go back to it. No one. So, yeah, compare that with Hades 1 where, you know, yeah, I did jump.
Sorry for the dead air, or at least that I had to leave you with Phil. I had to go pick up a delivery.
In and out of it for a while, but there was an audience that loved it and wanted to see me go back to it.
And he's still talking about Hades 2?
So,
Hades Nuts 2.
I hope the game did well. I'm sure it sold good based on the laurels, again, of the first game. But I really feel like they did it a disservice treating it the way that they did and releasing it the way that they did. That's what was disappointing to me. Okay.
No.
All right, folks.
Like we talked, early access games have disclaimers that they're not finished. And if you buy it and expect it to be finished, or you're surprised that they're bugs, that's kind of your fault.
We're getting there. We're getting down to the end here. And so, this one, to be honest, some people might be shocked and some people might not be. Ladies and gentlemen, my next most disappointing game of 2025 is a game that I'm still playing, Call of Duty Black Ops 7.
Why would anybody be surprised by this?
That is right. A game that I'm still actively playing, a game that I'm actually having fun with, and a game that I'm streaming on the late stream tonight.
Oh, so it's not disappointing.
On this very channel. And you might be like, what? Huh? Black Ops 7? What? I thought, you know, no, you have to understand, I'm fair in this countdown, okay? Black Ops 7 is doing pretty good in my lineup right now. Now that I actually have good equipment and stuff that I'm using, I got surround sound headphones. I've got a great gaming keyboard and mouse, okay? I've got everything set up and I'm doing well in the game. I'm actually getting, you know, good score streaks, and I'm actually getting a positive kill death ratio, and the audience is entertained. Okay, so why is it in my most disappointing list of 2025? Because it fucking sucks. The game is bad. This game is nowhere near as good as previous Call of Duties. They did everything wrong. They took away things that were great, like putting down mines. Or
yeah, he's definitely not good. And I think I read somebody's post about it. It was some actual player of Call of Duty, a fan of Call of Duty, talking about how DSP's like KD rate actually doesn't matter because they generally made the game easier for everyone to get kill streaks, to get more kills. So like his stats don't correlate to him being good. His stats are just padded out by the game itself to make you play more. Because you're not going to play a game where you lose all the time and your KD is terrible.
To stop people from getting behind you, it's been removed from the game. Instead, it's replaced by crappy kill streaks of drones and fucking stupid technology nonsense that's garbage in the game. It's got dumb wall jumping that doesn't belong in Call of Duty. I mean, I could keep going.
Oh, that was it. That was it, Strider. You're correct. It's not even the KDA. It's that assist count as eliminations.
It's got poor hit detection. The connections are awful.
That's correct.
It's skill-based matchmaking, and it's worse than ever. How is it that in one round I'm doing absolutely?
I don't know. I just hate Call of Duty in general. I've seen this guy play Call of Duty, and as we've seen in the clip in the start of the stream, I don't trust his opinions of the game.
And a franchise that I had asked for many years to have one of these kind of nostalgia collections was Mortal Kombat, because we had these kind of classic collections for Street Fighter before that had Street Fighter 2 or Street Fighter Alpha or Street Fighter 3, etc. We just had the Marvel collection. But Mortal Kombat had never really done that before. And I was excited when they announced the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection because it sounded like they were giving the fans exactly what they wanted. A collection that had all the different versions of classic Mortal Kombat in it, all accessible with online multiplayer, and it was going to have this cool mode that kind of you go through the legacy of Mortal Kombat and stuff like that. Sounds good to me. I love Mortal Kombat. I would love to experience these games again and to be able to share them with an audience on YouTube, right? Sounds like a great idea. And I actually did go through this game, playing pretty much all the old school Mortal Kombat, including 1 through 4. And then we actually did some of the horrible games like Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero and stuff like that, okay?
All right, enough with the context. Can we get to the point?
Made a good amount of great content for me, and I did enjoy covering it.
Oh, so it's not disappointing.
I'm not playing it anymore. And you might wonder, why on earth is this not in my, or not in my best games countdown, or why is it in my most disappointing games countdown if I liked it so much and I made good content out of it, right? Well, the answer is very simple. This collection was sold completely unfinished. When they released this collection, it had no actual functioning online multiplayer. What I mean by that is that
now that's disappointing.
Online against people, and they sold it that way. They said, "Oh, this collection has online multiplayer." But when you actually went to do it, you found out there was no actual lobby system. There was no actual ranking system. It was just, I want to play this game. Okay, search for a random opponent. It would maybe match you up against someone playing it, but if you couldn't find anyone, the game would then say, well, let's just match you up against anyone playing any of the games in the collection. Huh?
I mean...
So let's say, for example, I wanted...
So, wait. So I guess they just didn't have enough people playing.
To play more,
if that's the case.
Mortal Kombat Trilogy, which is what I'm playing right here in this video. Search for an online player. Oh, we couldn't find anyone here.
Well, they couldn't find anyone. Like, what do you want them to do?
Play Mortal Kombat 1 instead. But that's a completely...
I guess enough people didn't care about the game to buy it to play online.
Different game. Why would
I don't know.
That's how this game functioned. So most people who wanted to play it online couldn't find any opponents and ended up playing the wrong game or never played it at all. In addition, the game had no crossplay whatsoever. So think about it. This game was sold on every console, right? Xbox, PlayStation, PC. I think it's even on the Switch too. So if that's the case, you have basically separated your player base into 4 platforms. Makes it even harder to find people to play because people might be playing on a different platform than the one you're playing on. So just the design of the game makes no sense. It's supposed to be a competitive head-to-head fighter. You need...
All right, we got the point here. Let's move on to the top 3. As we learned, they're not even the top 3. They're just no particular order.
developer was already on this list, but now they're making a second appearance. Ladies and gentlemen, the next game on the most disappointing games countdown is The Outer Worlds 2. Why
Really?
The Outer Worlds 2?
Why?
On this countdown. Well, you
I mean, I guess you could be disappointed if you expected a lot out of this game. I just don't know how when the first game was so like middle of the road. It was okay. I wouldn't say it's terrible.
know this, but The Outer
I don't
Worlds
know.
2 was also made by Obsidian, the same people who made Avowed earlier in the year. And you might say, wait a minute, again? Yes. Yes. I'd like you to take a look at The Outer Worlds 2. Does it look familiar at all? The art style, the open world exploration.
What is it like the
Environments kinda look
previous game?
Colorful.
The previous game that was essentially like a well, they wanted to market it as like a Fallout in space before like Starfield came out. That was the first game. And it really wasn't like it wasn't.
It kind of looks like something, doesn't it? Yeah, it kind of looks like Avowed. Because it is Avowed.
Oh, it looks like Avowed. Sure.
It's basically the same exact
I don't like Avowed, so
okay? The basic core elements of the gameplay of Outer Worlds 2 are sound. The difference between this game and Avowed is that Avowed plays like Elder Scrolls, and this one plays like Fallout, except without VATS, okay? It's gunplay. That's the difference. But it's still open world, RPG, looter, all that stuff together, okay? But what's the problem with the Outer Worlds 2? Problem number one is that it's the Outer Worlds 1 Part 2. It's not really the Outer Worlds 2, meaning it's almost exactly the same game. If you play this game, you're basically playing Outer Worlds 1 again, just with a tweaked plot. It feels exactly the same. I played it for, I think 2 streams, and both times I played it, I was like, I don't even feel like this is a new game. It really feels like it's the same game a second time, same vibe.
fair enough. Fair enough. That's how I feel about it too. That's why I didn't play it through. Like I played it for like 20 minutes and it was like, oh, so this is like the first game that I didn't really like that much. And the first game was one of those that ends with like a slideshow. So you would do whatever you're doing and like pass the final mission and then it would just play a slideshow, which I always think is the cheapest way to end a game is being like, oh, so here's what happened. And here's how your choices actually had consequences. Well, this guy that you choose not to kill, he's actually happy now because you didn't kill him. And this guy that you killed, well, that was good because he was bad. And it's like, no, I don't like this spoon feeding me the consequences of my actions. I like them to be reflected in the world.
Kind of, stuff. The plot's different. And in fact, the plot's worse, which leads me to my second point. Just like in Avowed, if the plot of the game isn't good, then you're not going to get hooked on an open world RPG. The plot of this game is the 2 corporations that were in constant struggle in the first Outer Worlds.
You totally could get hooked if you had enough player agency and if you had enough freedom of choice to approach different situations. Because there's many games that have poor story, but they have enough to keep you engaged. So you can like fuck around with the world and play around in it.
Have merged into one and there's no more struggle. Now they're just the evil villain trying to take over and control everything in the galaxy. Oh. So the originality and the interest part of the plot, like, do you side with one corporation? Do you side with the other corporation? Do you side with no corporations? That whole thing's been removed. Now it's just corporations are bad. That's just the whole plot of the game. So immediately you took out the cool premise of the first game.
But that was the premise of the first game as well, that the corporation, the Spacer's Choice, was such a comedically corporate, capitalist, corrupt organization that it was funny. And that was the whole thing. Like, that was the whole gimmick for the first game. And now I guess they just did it again. But it's not funny the second time around, especially when the joke kind of overstayed its welcome in the first game.
Now it's just very cliche, very boring, but the gameplay elements are almost identical, and it just ends up being a complete waste of your time. Again, after 2 streams, I was incredibly bored. I just wasn't enjoying myself whatsoever playing it, to the point where I was like, I don't see a reason to continue. The audience is bored. I'm bored. Much like with Avowed, if the story isn't hooking you, why do you want to play an open world RPG? The answer is you don't. So what I think the point I'm making here is with Obsidian, this year what they showed is that they're very good with making open world exploration they're very good with kind of world design and those kind of open world exploration gameplay elements. But that's
I don't even think that at all. Like I didn't come to that conclusion from playing the first game. I came to the conclusion actually that Obsidian is significantly worse at pretty much everything compared to what they used to do before.
all they're good at. They just can't write a story to save their life. They don't employ people who are good writers who have any ideas that are interesting. So because of that,
I can't disagree.
you're going to be bored if you play a game like Outer Worlds 2 or a game like Avowed or whatever Obsidian's cooking next. You're probably going to be bored with it unless all you care about is wandering around the world and exploring.
All right, let's see number 2.
Up next on my most disappointing games countdown for 2025, my second most disappointing game of the year, in fact, is Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
All right, I'm going to let this play out for you guys, the Metroid fans, but I didn't play this or care about this, so I have no opinions. So my opinion is whatever DSP says. I agree with him by default.
You might say, why is this in Phil's countdown? Why was this game so disappointing for Phil? All right. The moment you start playing Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, you realize something. This doesn't really feel like Metroid or Metroid Prime at all. You land on a planet, and during that sequence, there's already a giant fight going on between what appear
Oh, that was a nice smack.
to be almost space marines and aliens. So there's a big fight war going on. You're like, what is this, Halo? Like, what am I jumping into? Within an hour or two of playing, the characters are talking. You've got one of the characters that blabs all the time, seemingly for comic relief.
This is, by the way, some of the worst footage that he could have picked to showcase this game, because it's just him looking like he's failing at a puzzle. He just fell off the map. You see that?
Like, what am I jumping into? Within an hour or two of playing, the characters are talking. You've got one of the
Look at this.
characters that blabs
Look at
all
him.
the time, seemingly for comic relief. And you're like, this doesn't feel at all like the spirit of what Metroid is supposed to be. Then you go to the first and second dungeons, and you realize these dungeons all look very samey. They don't have much life to them. They don't seem very interesting. Then you get into the combat, and the combat is very basic. Just lock on and dodge and shoot. Lock on and dodge and shoot. Then eventually there's a scan mechanic. Don't get me started on the scan mechanic. Literally, you have to scan everything in every environment on every screen in order to solve any puzzle, open any door, do anything. So 90% of the time, you just have the scanning visor on and you're just looking at items. Oh, something's happening? Close the scanning visor and just try to lock on and shoot wildly. Wash, rinse, and repeat. That's Metroid Prime 4 Beyond in a nutshell, at least the first 4 or 5 hours of it, because that's what I experienced. And I was insanely bored. It was just so weird because when you start booting up Metroid Prime 1 and you land on that world, right? Immediately you're greeted with something very Metroid-like. You're in an unknown place. You don't know what's going on. You're there isolated, so you get that feeling of loneliness, and you're there by yourself, and you have to survive, and all the odds are against you. You're immediately presented with, like, otherworldly creatures that are trying to kill you. You go one way, and it looks like a lava cave. You go another way, and it looks like a jungle. You go another way, and it looks like a technological room, but it's blocked. You can't go there yet. Very Metroid-esque, right? None of that is present in Metroid Prime 4. It's as if the people who got this game were given all the assets to Metroid, but had never actually played Metroid to know what makes it interesting.
All right, there you go. You have the final verdict on Metroid, whatever this was called, the Metroid game. Again, here is the most.
Disappointing
This is the most disappointing game, even though they were not ordered.
game of 2025.
What a great list. I'm sure so many people are going to watch that video and love it. They're going to leave a like and a comment for the algorithm so more people can watch DSP reviews.
To no surprise to anyone, I don't think anyone was going to be like, oh, I can't believe that this is his most disappointing game.
Obviously, he got trolled in this game so hard. Of course, it's the most disappointing.
The game that's
It's a Mario Kart game that he was terrible at, and that was highlighted by everybody on the internet. Oh, they made fun of him so much.
most disappointing for me was Mario Kart World.
And also, again, we go back to the point I made earlier. I've seen this guy play the game. I've seen this guy play Mario Kart. Therefore, I instantly dismiss and discard his opinion because he is dog shit at this game. So whatever he says has zero value, impact, or significance because I have seen him with my eyes play this video game and he's very bad at it.
And you might say, all right, why? Phil, spill the beans. What's so bad about Mario Kart World? Is it the visuals? No, the visuals are great. I think it's actually the best looking game I played on Switch 2 all year, honestly. Is it the controls? No. I think the controls are great. Very responsive game. I actually played it just on the Joy-Cons. And I think that the game actually played very well. And I actually had a good time. Of course, now I'm having problems with the controls. As soon as I say that in the video clip, I have problems with the controls. Let's fast forward, okay? So, what actually is the problem, in my opinion, with Mario Kart World? All right? There's two problems with Mario Kart World. One has to do with offline play, and one has to do with online play. Let's start with the offline play, okay? Mario Kart World is the most expensive Mario Kart game ever, being sold at, I think it's $79.99 if I'm correct. It might be $69, but isn't it $79.99? And Nintendo
What the fuck?
justified this incredibly inflated price.
Yeah, that costs so much money. That's why I don't like Nintendo games. Aside from not growing up with them, which is like you either grow up with a company or you don't. And I didn't grow up playing Nintendo games, but man, that shit's so overpriced. I just can't believe it.
Tag stating, oh, it's totally worth that. 100%. Why? Because it has an open world now. Mario Kart World is just that, an open world. That's why we're calling it that. And in this open world, you're going to have all this content. You're going to have these challenges to do. You're going to have interactions with characters. There's going to be collectibles and fun things to do. It's a hub that you're going to drive around and you're going to see other players in. So it's totally going to be worth your time. None of that is true. Like, everything I just stated is actually a complete lie. Mario Kart World does have an open world. It's empty. If you drive around the world, you'll find there's almost nothing to do.
That's like DSP saying, well, so what? I lied. I answered your questions. Well, it is open world, DSP. They didn't lie about anything. It's just empty. But it is an open world, isn't it?
There are challenges like the one you just saw. Did
Yeah, it should have cost $50 more just for the open world.
you see how long it took me to complete that challenge? What was that, 20 seconds? And there's challenges like that all over the world. There are also collectibles and things in the game, okay? So why would you want to do these challenges or collect these collectibles? To get stickers. What are stickers? What do you need them for? You don't. They have no purpose whatsoever. They don't do anything. They don't grant you abilities. They don't unlock content, like they don't unlock characters. They don't unlock vehicles at all. Literally, the stickers are just for show to put on your cart. They don't do anything, supposedly. Like, they have no purpose in the game. So then why do you need to ever do the open world? You don't. Huh? Yeah, I'm serious. As you go around the open world, you start to realize there's literally no reason for you to ever play it. It serves no purpose. It's devoid of any kind of meaning, and it was put in there to just say, hey, guess what? It's there. Yeah, that's fine, but it's called quality over quantity. I understand that there is an open world in Mario Kart World, but you didn't give us a reason to do it. There's no story. There's no unlocks. Like, for example, if you played through the open...
I don't get it. Honestly, I don't get it. If I bought this game, I would buy this game so I can play with it with other people online or locally, like this split screen thing. I wouldn't think about it for a moment, like what the single player is like. But sure, if you buy a game that costs like, what, $80 full price? Yeah,
world and every
I could see that. But I think definitely this is DSP's most disappointing game because he was trash and because people clowned on him. And they got millions of views clowning on him. Even Triple P joined the game that he was playing and beat him and then flexed about beating him and posted on Twitter.
A new character or a new cart or a new customization, then it would be worth it. That doesn't exist. There's no reason to ever boot this up. So I just don't understand what Nintendo was going for besides a bait and switch effort. Basically what they did is they promised everyone, hey, you're going to really get value out of the money you pay for this game because there's an open world now. Most people never use this open world for anything. It's a waste. They just, between matches, they just sit still. They don't even drive around. There's no point. So then why does it exist? No reason besides to make more money for Nintendo and charge you more money. It's that simple. It's the only reason that the open world...
Couldn't they have just charged you more money anyways? People would still buy it because it's the new Mario Kart on the new console.
In the game. Okay? Now, what about the other reason that I don't like the game? The online play. Well, I'm not even going to show you the online play because there's no point.
No. Show it. Come on. Why wouldn't you show it?
Majority of what I play. But in a nutshell, Mario Kart World is, in my opinion, the worst Mario Kart game ever made when it comes to competitive play, because the game isn't based on driving skill. It isn't based on track knowledge. It isn't based on anything that would be based off of like time investment. It's based on abusing items. The entirety of this game is based on getting a good item, banking it, and using it at the right time to blow by 10 to 15 opponents.
That definitely sounds like a sore loser, to be honest.
And get into the top
Definitely.
5, and then find...
Because I've seen the gameplay. Okay, we gotta watch some. I can't just not show you him crashing out. Let's get some shout outs first, though. Big ups Turtles Game Kingdom for 19 months. 2K26 for 2 months. Big ups. Shout out to Jay and Janine for the subscriptions. Super Zelda FTW 1 month. Big ups, dude. Insignificant Human 27 months. Big ups. Milliaway 0092 for 31 months. And I'm going to play now the TTS for the messages.
His Metroid takes are like his Doom takes, change bad. Changed from what? He doesn't know, he never played them, but he's sure it didn't used to be like this. He's such a bad grifter.
I mean, a lot of his opinions are just something that he saw on Twitter, or like, you know, like you say, something that got changed that he can't describe, and it's something super general, and it's very, I don't know, it's very pointless to have this opinion. It's more like just bitching than having some sort of a structured take on things. And that's why I don't value his opinion, and pretty much nobody else does. There's nothing insightful about it. For a guy who's been doing this 18 years, you should be able to easily pick apart a game and figure out what works and what doesn't, and explain it. But obviously, we're not quite there yet.
Hang on, so Darkseid, the self-proclaimed king, bent the knee to people he himself calls racists? That's not something a king does. That's something a cuck does.
Yeah, that was crazy, because he put the games on the most disappointing list because people were racist about it. It's like, what? Okay, sure, if you want it. If you want it that way, buddy. Big ups Iwamoto, and this is another message from you.
He's so confused that the jury of the Game Awards has no overlap with his 60 fans who are genuine racists, and trolls who call it woke to make him stop playing. They succeeded.
But look, the Game Awards, I can't fucking defend them. It's a circle jerk. What I forgot how it was called. It's a circle jerk corporate show for people to pat themselves on the back, and Jeff Keighley to pretend like a bunch of hype games are coming out, and most of them are just pretty poor. But I also do think people take those awards way too seriously, and they have endless fights about which game should be game of the year when it ultimately doesn't really matter, as long as all the games that are nominated are actually solid experiences that are very fun, because that's kind of the point. And DSP gets tangled up in that mindset and fucking spurgs out about this, and ultimately I don't think you should care. It's just superficial popularity contest awards. So let's watch DSP's insanely good gameplay.
And it took it away from me. What happened? I don't understand how I'm losing my item constantly. Okay. Look at that. Are you kidding me? I was doing fine. All of a sudden, he pushed me off. I used my bananas to get him off me. All of a sudden, I get pushed off the end. What happened? That's it. It's over. Yeah, this is awful.
All right, so you can kind of see why I don't really trust Phil's opinion.
One more item and blow into first place, and you win. There's so many times that I played this game and I was driving very well and I was in top 3, and I was punished for it because someone would. It sounds like the music doesn't like the game much either.
Sounds
the
like
music really hates
what?
Mario Kart World. Holy shit! The music is having like an aneurysm.
Yeah,
or something.
I don't know what's with the music. At least like keep it to one genre, like just basic.
So yeah, the online play essentially is not good for people who want to learn how to play the game or drive well, you get punished for it. If you drive well, people frequently just get an overpowered item and just beat the crap out of you, even though you're in first. They overtake you. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's rage-inducing, and it basically means you don't ever need to learn how to play Mario Kart World. You could just learn a way to bank and abuse items. And that's how most people have played it. The game lost tons of its player base, and most people have stopped playing it entirely. It's just basically an overglorified party game. While previous Mario Kart...
But it is a party game. Like, yeah.
Actually had reasons to play and get better. This one has none. There's no actual formal ranking system. You earn points for driving. The points award you nothing. Basically, just by playing the game enough, you'll unlock all the content. And that's it. But you don't need to be good. You never actually need to win a race. So, the game is completely worthless. You play it for a few hours. You can beat all of the tracks within, say, 3 hours. And you've seen the entirety of the game. You go to the open world, there's no reason to play it. It's boring and empty and has no meaning. You go to the online play and you realize everyone just cheats with items and the skill of driving isn't even worth it. So why are you playing Mario Kart World? And the answer is you shouldn't be. It's actually one of the most big rip-off games I've ever seen in the 17 years that I've covered gaming on YouTube. I don't think that it should be sold for $20. I don't even think there's $20 of content in this game.
Okay, I feel like I'm being gaslit right now, so I'm gonna look up the reviews for this game. So this is Mario Kart, what was it called? World, right? Mario Kart World. And let's look at the Metacritic. Because I found that the Metacritic is generally reliable to give you an estimate of the game's quality. So we got, on average, the user scores are relatively low. It's a 6.9, which is not great. The critic scores are 86, which it's a big game by a AAA publisher like Nintendo, so that's probably going to get favorable reviews. So let's see the user reviews. Because he might be right. Like I said, I haven't seen it, but I feel like I'm being pignatized. So let's see. Mario Kart is decent, lacks innovative track design and any semblance of balance. It's laughably unbalanced. And then we have a bunch of questions that I can't answer because I didn't play the game. Some guy gave it a 0. Another guy gave it a 0. Some guy gave it a 6 in French. Finally got a Switch 2. Got Mario Kart bundle. Me and the kids can't stop playing it. Which I think, like, if I'm going to buy this game, this is why I'm going to buy it. So I can pick up the bundle and I can play it with people coming over or my kids, even though I don't have them. But one day I will. I'm investing in the future. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And then we have, despite it not being worth $80, which I can agree, that's a lot of money for a Nintendo Switch Mario Kart game. Genuinely a ton of fun. Several cool things game has to offer. Rail grinding, wall riding, knockout tour, NPC characters, etc. So I guess it's mixed, but mostly positive. And the negative reviews are just zeros. And I consider this to be review bombing. If you give a game a 0, that's obviously not a 0. Mind's Eye is close to 0. And it's not even a 0 because it's still somewhat functioning game.
Being honest, it's one of the biggest ripoffs Nintendo has ever sold. It was a blatant bait and switch. They lied to the consumer. They should be held accountable for it. Why aren't they being held accountable?
Why is DSP not being held accountable when he lies to the consumer? Why?
Because they're Nintendo. Because this was the launch title. A month after this was Donkey Kong Bonanza. A couple months after this was Pokemon. Then there was Metroid. Because they create artificial scarcity with games, basically, everyone just buys the next one and moves on from the one that sucked and pretends like it never happened. This has already happened like 3 times this year. Are people up in arms about the Switch 2? No. Nintendo just gets away with it. So this year, if you take a look at my most disappointing games countdown, this game literally is the worst, but a ton of these games were Nintendo games. In fact, I would argue that the Switch 2 is one of the most disappointing console launches I've ever seen in my life. Most of the games on there are cross-platform anyway. There's no reason to own the console right now. There literally is no system sellers on Switch 2 that you must own on that console.
What is the system seller for everything else? What's a system seller for the PS5? I don't know.
You can play most of the games on Switch 1, and
what's a system seller for the Xbox Series anything?
Right now, besides Pokemon, I don't know what I'm going to be playing on Switch 2 in the foreseeable.
Because I think the spoiler is that a system seller is pretty much any game that you really are excited for, that you're willing to buy a console for. which could be any game. Like, I bought a PS4 in like 2019 or something to play Red Dead 2.
Future because there's nothing coming out in 2026.
So that was a system seller for me. I didn't care about like Spider-Man, like whatever the fuck other shit.
Did you actually look at the game release library for this thing? Almost nothing. Nothing of any note. There's no Mario game. There's no Zelda game. There's like nothing coming out for this thing. So why did we all buy it? Because we're suckers. You know, we're fanboys. And we think, oh, Nintendo's great and they're going to do us right. They certainly have it in 2025. And 2026 ain't looking much better, at least from the lineup that I've seen. So Mario Kart World, hands down, one of the most disappointing games I've ever played. An insane ripoff.
He's ever played.
The most disappointing game of 2025. Notably, the reason why it's such a letdown for me, I love Mario Kart, and I was waiting for a new one for the longest time. But remember what they did with Mario Kart 8? They released it, then they re-released it, then they DLC'd the living hell out of it. So you waited so long for a new Mario Kart. And when people ask me, what's the first game you want to see on Switch 2? I said, Mario Kart. Let's get a new Mario Kart because we've been waiting so long. And then we got this turd. A game that I'm never going to play ever again because there's no point. Absolutely sad. Absolutely embarrassing for Nintendo, quite frankly. But again, Nintendo endlessly gets away with it for whatever reason. I don't understand why. I just don't get why Nintendo gets infinite chances to mess up and never gets called out for it and
You can say that for many other companies, and they constantly get called out for it.
never pays for it.
They constantly pay for it. Their shit gets clowned all the time, man.
People will just run and clamor to buy the next.
Like this whole fucking fake bullshit, like Nintendo or Untouchable, is just fake bullshit.
Switch 2 game. If Switch 2 comes out with a new version of the console, people will run and buy it in droves. I just don't understand. I don't get it, but hey, I'm going to be honest with you guys about the games that I play. That game was not good. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes my most disappointing games countdown for 2025. I hope that you enjoyed it. I would love feedback. Seems like people in the chat were 50-50. Some people like the new format. Some people were like, this format ain't for me. If you watch this on demand, what did you think? Do you agree with my takes? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments. Please engage with the content. If you liked the video, please give it a like. Let me know what you think, because I got some more series coming up in a week or two here, and I'd like to get feedback, okay?
More series as what? Like best games. I guess that's what he can do. He can't do a list of the worst games because it's just going to be this list again.
Okay? So everyone, thank you so much for watching the most disappointing games countdown of 2025. More like this coming. See you soon for more awesome gameplay.
You need object permanence to play Mario Kart.
You know what, J-Dog? I hadn't thought about that, but that turns out to be true. It does. And you can see that you also need object permanence to play Black Ops.
Play here on DSP Gaming in 2026. Peace out, everybody.
Terrible list. Terrible list. Absolutely dog shit list. First of all, it's a list of 15 items where probably at least 5 of them shouldn't have been on the list because they are disappointing for reasons that I would say it's a stretch. Like, it almost seems like he was trying to make up reasons why games are disappointing, such as a game being disappointed because it's not finished, even though it's in early access, a game being disappointing because his chat was racist about it, a game being disappointing because, what was the other thing? He didn't make enough money? Like, come on. Come on. Also, the takes in this, the opinions, at least for the games that I have played, and I can tell you if I agree with his opinion or not, were terrible. Very surface level, basic bitch opinions that anybody can give you. Like, actually anybody could give you. Probably a beginner gamer could give you. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I think I'm going to wrap it up now. We did pretty much what we wanted to do today, or at least what I wanted to do today. And yeah, tonight, we're doing a stream. On that being said, it's the return of the rewind, where we revisit a specific point in time to see what the fuck happened and laugh at some crash out. Today we're going to do, obviously, a classic, the Twitch unpartnership, the hateful slur gate, and the portfolio of hate. So make sure to smash the reminder for that one, and I'll see you there. So thanks for watching. Stay sway. Keep it flat. I'm checking if I didn't miss any shout-outs. No. Yawn.